If you had a knife, you can't even cut it. So strong, so powerful. It's like powerful rubber.
The swamp is swampier.
The reflecting pool. I hate to do this, but we're going to talk about the reflecting pool today. It's there's so many other things, but it's all I see on Twitter. It's all I see on the news. Like we're going to have to talk about it, and I'll say this for good reason. I don't know if the right word is metaphor or example, but this is like the perfect metaphor for all of Trump's actions in the second term. So we're gonna talk about that. I got a couple things I need to get out of the way real quick because there are more priority items, but I do want to talk about the pool. First of all, remember all the artists that canceled on the America 250 birthday party? They had announced like 9 artists, all of which were I don't want to say terrible artists, but like Milli Vanilli. Like,
Yeah.
what are we
Vanilla
doing?
Ice, who
Yeah,
apparently will perform for anybody. He doesn't
Vanilla
care.
Ice is the only one that didn't cancel. But after 8 out of the 9 canceled, that Trump said, well, he's just canceling all of them. We're not going to do music anymore. And then later he said it is now a Trump rally. So he's just going to do his typical rally speech. They did get one musical act that is now confirmed, and the White House is broadcasting this musical act will be here. Any guesses who it might be?
Well, is Vanilla Ice still performing?
Nah, they haven't said yet. There's
Oh,
only one artist that they are saying at this point is performing. I'll give you a hint. It's somebody close to Trump's girlfriend.
somebody close to Trump's girlfriend. Oh, Cash Patel, his
Yes.
girlfriend. So,
Her name is Alexis Wilkins, and the White House has been blasting this. She retweeted it. What a great honor to be part of the 250th birthday of this great nation. It says Alexis Wilkins, featured performer. I've never heard her sing, so I'm kind of excited to hear this. So anyhow, so I know you were worried that we wouldn't have a musical act for the birthday party of America, but don't worry,
well, I mean,
docs.
she's been touring around, like singing for like what is it, B League hockey teams or something.
Yeah, that's apparently she sings the national anthem at like a lot of minor league hockey games, I think. I don't want to say I know that for sure, but that's what I've been seeing. So, anyhow,
Okay, so
good
she's
news.
got the national anthem down. We're gonna hear the national anthem.
Wouldn't it be funny if they bring her there and that's all she's doing? She has songs, I think. I don't know
Oh,
for
she has her
sure.
own songs?
I think so. I think she's a country musician. She sings in Nashville.
What's her name?
Alexis Wilkins.
Alexis Wilkins.
We can't play any of her songs here.
Oh, that's right, because of
Yeah.
the thing.
Well, how about instead of wasting time on it now, let's both do some independent work after this, and we'll talk about it next time if she's any good. I gotta
Okay.
believe she's got to be able to carry a tune at the very least. So who knows?
Okay. Her most popular songs are called Country Back, Love Me, Quite Like Whiskey. Oh, she's singing about Cash Patel's whiskey.
Okay, that makes sense. Her and Cash
Stand
are
and Holding On. Oh yeah.
sounds like her and Cash are a match made in heaven. So
Jeez.
um,
Okay.
anyhow, the other thing that's going on, and this is happening this morning, is kind of all happening as we speak. Trump is trying to set up some kind of a showdown with Senate Republicans. It's been interesting. The House Republicans have been willing to do whatever Trump says. If he says to pass a bill, they do it for him. The
Yeah.
Senate hasn't been doing it, and Trump's really playing with numbers now because he primaried Bill Cassidy from Louisiana and John Cornyn from Texas. So they're both pissed. They're not going to be reelected, and they're not doing what Trump says anymore. Mitch McConnell is in the hospital still. We need to, Mitch McConnell, we all hated for a while, but then of recent, he has been kind of standing up to Trump. So I have a weird I don't know how to feel about Mitch. That being said,
Still don't like him. Like,
yeah,
good for him for standing up for him, but like, why would you like that evil creature from
either,
he's the swamp?
either way, I don't want to like joke around about the fact that he might not be alive next week. Like, I don't know where it's at, but they're being real quiet about what's going on. He's in a hospital. What's funny is if he does, I don't want to say the word that'll get us banned in the algorithm. If he doesn't make it out of the hospital, if we have a funeral for him soon, the governor of Kentucky has to appoint a Republican to replace him within a certain amount of time. The governor of Kentucky is Andy Beshear, who's a Democrat. He has the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever. He could appoint Thomas Massey to that open Senate seat, which would be a thorn. That's a Republican, and it would be a thorn in Trump's side. So either way, the Republicans hold the Senate by 3 votes. You got Cornyn and Cassidy that are were primaried and not going to be even up for re-election. You have Tom Tillis, who's he's retiring, not going to run again, and then you have Mitch in the hospital. So technically, he can't get anything passed. But he's down 4 Republican votes at the moment. So that being
Well,
said,
okay.
go ahead. What you
I
got?
was, it's just weird that we have senators dying from natural causes, from old age, still in Senate. Like it should be like, oh, I haven't heard Mitch McConnell's name in 20 years because he retired 20 years ago.
Well,
But no, he's held on to this seat as like an old how old is he? 80 something?
oh, he's not as old as Chuck Grassley. I don't know how old he is, honestly. But really, remember the 2
God.
times, like a year ago, he was speaking in front of reporters in like the Capitol, and he just froze, like mid sentence, he just froze and
Yeah.
couldn't. Like when that happened, that should have been he should have resigned, and they should have replaced him.
Yeah.
Either
Term
way,
limits too. Term limits should be a thing.
yeah. Well, good luck on that.
Yeah.
But the 2 big fights Trump is setting up with them right now. Trump named Bill Pulte to be the replacement for Tulsi Gabbard. He started last Thursday, I think, and nobody wants Bill Pulte. The Senate Republicans are very afraid of what he might do. Trump has said that his job is going to be to start firing people, which he did starting Monday. He's doing mass firing. So
Who is
firing
this?
Bill Pulte was the head of like housing or something along those lines.
Uh-huh.
He if you're ever been in like the home building or home buying industry, Pulte Homes is a big deal.
Huh.
He is one of the Pulte kids. He has no business being in government. He's a home seller basically. I don't know what you call that.
Okay.
He is the one that kept coming up with all the mortgage fraud accusations, like for Comey and Letitia James and you name it. Everybody
Uh,
that got brought up on mortgage fraud charges started with Bill Pulte. So Trump likes him. Trump's making him the new DNI. He has no experience in intelligence. He took over for Tulsi last week. The Senate Republicans do not want him there. So they basically convinced Trump, hey, pick a successor and we will rush him through the confirmation as quick as we possibly can. And Trump picked Jay Clayton, who's a prosecutor out in New York. Um, the Senate, in the fastest I've ever seen, like Trump announced him, and like 3 or 4 days later, they were ready to have a hearing to get him confirmed so that Pulte would never get into office. That was supposed to be 2 days ago. Yeah, I think 2 days ago. And as the hearing was about to start, Trump tweeted that he's instructed Jay Clayton not to show up for the hearing. Basically, he wants Pulte to be able to get into office and fire a bunch of people. So that's been happening this week. Senate Republicans are pissed about that. Nothing they can do about it at the moment. I think Pulte, by law, can be in office for 210 days as the acting DNI. So
okay.
he is very much going to be crucial in the there's election fraud, we have to cancel the elections, or we have to do, that's why he's in place, just so you know. So
Oh
be
my
ready for
gosh.
that. The other thing, I'm going to give Congress credit. Congress passed a bipartisan bill aimed at lowering housing prices. I think they passed it yesterday.
I
It
heard
passed
that.
overwhelmingly. I have no clue really what's in the bill, but they seem to think it's going to help. They had a big signing ceremony set up for this morning. They had a stage with a table and flags everywhere, and Trump was supposed to come out and sign this bill. Trump tweeted this morning that he is not going to sign it. His exact tweet said, "Today's housing news conference and signing is hereby canceled until such time as we pass the desperately needed Save America Act, which I consider to be a national emergency. Thank you for your attention to this matter." Save America Act is basically voter ID. That's the main. He wants to make new federal voting laws. What's funny, Mike Johnson, Steve Scalise, who's like the number 2 in the House, and French Hill were all giving a press conference touting how they passed this wonderful bill as Trump canceled it. So I didn't pull the
Good.
clip, but after they all got done talking, the first question was like, hey, Trump just tweeted that he's not going to sign this. Mike Johnson had to kind of scramble. Anyhow, that on that, really, what's weird is Trump, even if he has no leverage, like if he doesn't sign it within 10 days, it automatically becomes law. He doesn't have to sign it.
Hmm.
If he tries to veto it, seems like they have easily enough people to override his veto. So nobody really knows what he's doing. But he's just basically picking a fight for no reason with Senate Republicans 4 months before the midterms. So
Well, he's picking a fight because, from what I heard, the bill limits businesses from owning more than 300 units, I guess, homes.
300. Yeah, okay.
300, which is an insane number already.
Yeah.
That means there's billionaires out there just gobbling it. And we already knew that, like BlackRock
Mhm.
is gobbling up the homes. Who knows how many houses they
Apparently, I keep hearing that China's buying all our real estate and homes. I don't know if that's true or not, but I keep hearing that.
That's an Oklahoma myth, I'm
Okay,
sure.
yeah, probably. So I'll agree with you.
I mean, I have heard that China, like, didn't Florida pass a law where like the Chinese can't buy homes in Florida or something like that?
I believe so. And Oklahoma has been talking about passing a law to where I guess China owns a significant portion of Oklahoma farmland, and like they're trying to make it to where they can't buy anymore. That does like I, they need to be specific. Does the government of China own our farmland? Because if that's the case, that's a problem. Do Chinese American citizens own our farmland? That's a little bit of a gray area. Like when they say China's buying all of our houses, do they mean people from China or do they mean the Chinese government? That'd be my question.
Well, there's a company in Australia that owns the toll roads in Texas. I don't know if they own the ones here in Colorado, but in
Really?
Texas, they own all the toll roads. And like we give them like the easement of like taking, what is it called? Eminent domain.
Okay, yep.
And that was a big deal whenever they were putting up some of these toll roads in Texas was like all this money just goes to to Australia. So like we should not allow other countries
Hold
to
on.
buy our land.
The toll road money, like every time I go through a toll, that money is going to somebody in Australia.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, I did not know that. I'm gonna look into that. I had no knowledge of that up till now. By the way, how are you getting at one arm typing?
It's horrible, man.
How's
It's
your arm doing?
horrible.
I forgot to ask. How's your arm doing?
It's okay. I'm elevating it.
Okay, good job.
It's getting better. I actually put together a bookshelf that I ordered online yesterday with one hand.
Well, I'm glad you're doing better. I'm sorry I didn't ask about your arm at the beginning here.
It's fine. It's annoying. I'm super annoyed by it.
Sorry.
Uh, yeah, I mean it's something we should look up, but
All right.
that's from what I understand. So these private companies own some of them, often through long-term leases.
Okay.
Which
Well,
that it seems to be just I don't like it used to be that we built these toll roads in America and we charged to do the toll roads and that, paid for the toll road. Once the toll road was paid for, it was free, right?
yep.
And there's a good example of that in Grand Prairie. And I used to take
I-30.
I-30. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So uh, I don't know where everything has to be money-making operation these days. And
Yep.
it's like, why can't we just do something for the American people anymore?
We don't have the money for that. We're busy doing wars, Docs. I don't know if you remember, but we have these wars going on. We can't afford to do things for the American people, okay?
Yeah, we
Which
need
we're getting to the
1.5
war.
trillion.
We're getting to the war in a second. I'll do a quick update on that. But I thought this was interesting. Trump has been talking about affordability again. Real quick, Susie Wiles, the chief of staff, was saying a couple months ago that they're going to put Trump on the ballot. Like they're going to send him out to all these states and have him doing rallies. Well, his popularity is so low that they're not doing that, and maybe they're going to start doing it here in the next month or two. But so far, they're not really doing it. Um, he's been again bringing up affordability and saying it's a Democrat hoax and affordability is not a real thing. This is a quote from Punchbowl News, but about the housing bill. Uh, President Trump told Speaker Mike Johnson in a private conversation this week that no one gives a shit about housing, according to four sources who heard the speaker recount the conversation. No one gives a shit about the price of housing. Like, how tone deaf is he? Like, of all the things, like, and Republican strategists are on TV screaming that into the television. They're like, sir, focus on the kitchen table issues. The cost of gas, cost of housing, inflation, like focus on those. And he won't do it. And he keeps saying that those are all hoaxes. And what people really want to talk about is how Iran can have no nuclear weapons. So, yeah, I don't think anybody cares.
He's so tone deaf.
He
It's
is. This is
it's
This is
fascinating.
honestly, this is worse than Biden. The people were struggling during the Biden economy, and he kept going out there going, no, 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 the economy's real good. But it doesn't matter what the numbers show, people were struggling. And the Biden White House refused to acknowledge that and show some empathy for that. Trump has taken it to a new level where he's like, no, you're full of shit. Like, I hear what you're telling me America thinks, and I don't believe it. Okay, cool. Like, this is going to go
Yeah.
well for you in the midterms. I can't wait.
Yeah, the Biden administration should have acknowledged the pain. Like, hey, yes, inflation is high, but look what we're doing. And in comparison to other countries, we're doing better than every other growing nation. Um,
The problem there was a real argument to be made there by showing how the rest of the world is recovering from COVID and how much better America's doing. The problem is Biden didn't have the mental capacity to go out and articulate that well. Like he really didn't. Like they never tried, but I don't know that he could have.
Well, I mean, and then that's where you put a spokesperson out there, right? You put Kamala Harris or somebody else, Bernie
Anybody.
Sanders, even
Yeah.
anybody that could articulate how it's actually how we're benefiting, how we're doing well. And now it's like, I don't know. Do people act? I mean, people feel it at the grocery store, but Trump keeps saying like, "Oh, and the stock market's what it hit 52,000 today
Mhm.
at some point."
Yep.
Like, what is going on?
I'll say this, that the Trump voters that I know in my life are very aware of the financial situations going on. Like they are hurting, they're talking about it. So I don't think that Trump's always had this ability to convince people, almost like a Jedi mind trick, like, no, no, no. Your bank accounts are doing fine. And they're like, yeah, yeah, no, we're fine. It's not working right now. Like people are hurting, and every time
Mhm.
he says that, oh, the economy's the best ever, they're not buying it. So I'll throw that
Mm.
out. And then real quick on Iran, we had the first meeting with Iran after the MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, got signed. It was Saturday morning in Switzerland. And did you hear how this started? It's perfectly Trump how this all went down.
Uh, refresh my memory.
Okay, so as they were sitting down to the table to start negotiating, right off the bat, like Trump at that exact moment is talking to, I think the guy's name is Trey Yingst, a reporter from Fox, and Trey Yingst goes on Fox immediately after he gets off the phone with the president, and he says, I just spoke to the president. President Trump said that if Iran basically doesn't do what we say, that we're going to blow up their country. They won't have a country to return to after the negotiations, and they might not even make it all the way back. We might shoot down their plane in the air, basically, is what he told Fox. So the very first point it's a 14-point MOU. The very first point is that there will be no threatening each other. That's the very first point. So Iran, as they're sitting down at the table, someone hands them, I'm sure, a printout or a phone and says, hey, look what Trump just said. So they got up and left. They got up and walked out. There's video of this. JD Vance looks so confused. Like, and he tried to get up too, and he's like, where are we going? And they just left the room. Anyhow, they said after that that they would not even come back and sit down with us unless Trump publicly apologized for what he said. Turns out they broke on that because they ended up back at the table like 2 hours later, and we actually did have some negotiations. What they were setting up was a framework for the talks going forward. So they didn't agree on anything, but they decided how they're going to do this, basically. JD came out afterward, said the talks went great, blah, blah, blah. JD and Trump over the next day started throwing out some weird stuff. They said that, yeah, we're going to unfreeze $12 billion worth of Iranian money, but all of that money is going to be used to buy like soybeans and crops from our American farmers. So we're letting them have it, but that money's really going to our economy. You'll be shocked to find out that Iran immediately said, no, we never even talked. That never even got brought up. We're not doing that. And they said we will not give money to the great Satan or something along those lines. So that's a flat out no.
The Great Satan.
The
That's what we're
great Satan
called.
is what they call this. Yeah.
Mm.
Also, we fully removed all of their sanctions, especially when it comes to selling oil. So they are right now selling oil on the open market, making. I've seen estimates between 5 and 10 billion a month is what they're going to make selling oil. Like then that if you go back in time, that's the whole reason they started a nuclear program. They wanted that as a bargaining chip to get their sanctions removed. So, and that's I'm sure that if you talk to some people, they'll say, no, 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 that's a lie. A lot of people believe that. From what I've seen, that makes a lot of sense. Like when they came out a couple of years ago and said, hey, we're enriching uranium to 60%. Do you want to negotiate? Like that was their leverage to try to get their sanctions removed. They've won at this point. Their sanctions are removed. They're selling oil on the open market. They got 12 billion unfrozen and they're getting a $300 billion reconstruction fund. Like they're winning. Like I don't know.
They won. I've told you this like a month ago. Like they
Yeah.
won. They've won this.
And then on top of that, the Senate passed the War Powers Resolution. 4 Republicans voted with Democrats. Trump's mad. Trump tweeted, I didn't pull it, but Trump tweeted that they are giving like they are aiding and abetting the enemy or something. It was like the definition of treason. He didn't say the word treason, but he laid out the definition of treason and accused the Republican senators of doing that. Either way, kind of
But he
interesting.
said he's not going to sign that bill either.
Yeah,
He's
but
going to veto them.
I don't think he has to sign that. That's a check on the president. I might be wrong. We'll see.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
bottom line, I just want to ask you a question. From everything that's happened since the start of this, what is Trump calling it? Excursion?
Uh-huh.
Like, I want to go out on a limb and say that Iran has been the more honest person. And I feel weird saying that. But at the beginning of this, they were saying, hey, we're hitting American military bases. We're doing big damage. And our White House was saying, no, 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 they're not hitting us at all. Then we find out that, yeah, they were hitting our bases and we had to evacuate all of our bases. Um, the Strait of Hormuz being closed, we said they weren't doing that. And then it turned out they definitely were. I'm trying to think what else. And the 14-point MOU. All of what was it last week when we were hearing that there's been a deal agreed to, and Iran was leaking what was in it, and Trump and Vance for the whole time were saying, no, 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 that's not what we're doing. That's not the real one. That's fake. And then it turned out that was exactly the deal. When it comes down to who has better credibility right now, like, is there any argument that Iran has been more honest about what's going on?
Well, Trump lies his ass off. I don't know. Is there anything that he actually tells the truth about?
Not him, but JD has been more honest, I will say. JD is a worm in a
JD's
lot
been
of
more
ways.
honest.
Yeah,
JD's
JD
been more honest than Trump.
than Trump. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Is Trump
Yeah.
is? I mean, he's a known liar. Like he
But
just
J
lies about everything.
but JD is parroting all this stuff too. Like, real quick, what JD, and this is the reason I'm asking. JD is claiming that in this talk on Saturday, Iran agreed to have nuclear inspectors come in anytime, surprise visits, whenever, and inspect anything they want for the rest of eternity. For the rest of eternity, Iran is going to let the nuclear energy inspectors in. Iran said, no, we didn't even talk about that. Who are you going to believe there?
Iran.
Yeah, and then the whole point about they're going to use their unfrozen money to buy our soybeans, they're saying no. JD's saying yes. Sorry, I have a hard time believing America in these situations. I feel terrible saying that, but based off everything that's
Yeah.
happened since the start of this, the odds are that Iran is telling the truth. I hate to say that. That's where we're at.
I mean, what was this thing with Maloney where Trump said she begged me for a picture, blah blah blah, and then Maloney had to come out and be like, "This never happened. I don't." And
Yeah.
she
And
like ripped him a good one.
all the videos of them together at that conference, it looks like she's chewing his ass, and you can't tell what's being said. But her body language, she's pointing her finger at him, and his facial expression is very blank. Like he's in like a oh shit moment. Like it almost looks
Sure.
like she's reading him the riot act. So I would find it hard to believe she then begged him for a picture. But again,
Yeah.
who are you going to believe? The president of the United States, the greatest country in all the world, or the president of Italy? I'm picking what's her name, Giorgia Meloni. I'm going to
Yeah.
believe her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. I
I,
believe anybody over Trump.
Real
Uh,
quick, what's funny is he said that she was begging for the picture because her poll numbers are bad and she needed that to get better. Trump is so unpopular in Italy, and she came out and said that. She was like, it's like my popularity has nothing to do with you, but just know that a picture with you would only hurt it more. Said something along those lines. So go her.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyhow. All right, so that I got you all caught up, and now we have to talk about the thing that everybody's talking about, the reflecting pool. Have you seen for okay, let's do a quick catch up on what's going on with the reflecting pool. Hold on. Can I back us up real quick? This is just funny to me also. When it comes to Trump lying, Trump can't help but lie about everything. The Strait of Hormuz is open right now. Oil is flowing through it. That's good. That's big. Of course, that's exactly where we were before the war. But there's oil flowing again. It's confirmed. Yay. Trump can't help but lie about it. He said 19 million barrels of oil flowed out of the Hormuz Strait yesterday, an all-time record. Oil prices are tumbling down, and the world is a much safer place. Community note on here. Oil flows through the Strait of Hormuz have historically averaged about 20 million barrels per day, with a yearly average high of 21.9. So it is flowing as it normally would. 19 million, the average is 20. Okay, but that's good. It's good enough. He could have just said, hey, the strait is fully open and oil is flowing again, and that would have been a yay. But he has to take it a step further and say it's an all-time record. Not even close. All right.
Yeah, and I don't know why that would even be a yay because we forced them to close it down in the first place. Ugh,
It makes no
this
sense.
guy.
And then also real quick, Jared Kushner, who is one of our lead negotiators in all this, everybody was saying the whole time that he has a conflict of interest because he's actively raising money over there. Well, it turns out he was raising money while he was over there, literally. New York Times has a story. Jared Kushner solicits funds for his firm while working as Mideast envoy. President Trump's son-in-law is trying to raise $5 billion or more from foreign governments and other private equity firm. He's over there actively. That's just ridiculous. I don't even know what to say about that. Anyhow.
It's corruption, corruption, corruption. Like he's the most corrupt president out of, I mean, I would say out of any president across the world. I mean, there's
Whew.
probably been somebody who was more corrupt, but like
So
of all time across the entire world, this is the most corruption that we know about, right?
let me rephrase that for you. This is the most corrupt president any democracy has had. Any country that
Okay.
claims it's a democracy, because like if you look at
Yes.
what Putin did in the early 2000s when he basically reorganized all their business and gave businesses to his crony buddies, the oligarchs, like stuff like that is well beyond what Trump has done here. But that you wouldn't try to claim that's a democracy. So of
Okay.
democracies,
Yeah.
yes. So
Out of democracies, yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I'll give you that.
And it starts with our leadership across the board. I mean,
It
this has been happening across the board for decades, right? I mean,
The thing is, it's normally more hidden. Like normally, something looks like it might be corrupt, but we could never find like the smoking gun to prove it actually is. It just looks. Anybody with common sense would look at it and say, "Yeah, that looks corrupt," but you couldn't find it. Trump will come right out and say it. Like that's the biggest thing. Is he just says, "Yeah, yeah, I'm doing this." Like, okay, confirmed corruption. Moving forward.
I don't know how we survive like this.
I don't think we do. Anyhow,
Yeah.
onto the reflecting pool. First of all, I want to point out that I agree, and I never thought I'd say this, but there's a young influencer. There's a young influencer named Brylan Hollyhand, and he was picked to be like the next Charlie Kirk. He's terrible in every way, shape, and form. But he said the reflecting pool has gotten more coverage than the Somalian daycare fraud, Laken Riley's murder, Biden's mental health decline. Carolyn Levitt followed up and said, "So true and so sad. The liberal media is truly deranged." Okay, why is the liberal media talking about this? Why are most Americans on Twitter talking about this? Do you have any guesses why?
Well, it just depicts everything that Trump, it's kind of everything that Trump represents all wrapped into one ball
True, I'll give
with a
you
little
that.
bow on it.
But also, this is all Trump would talk about for the last month. Like every time they would corner Trump on any topic, he would just start, "Oh, well, the reflecting pool, blah, blah," and he would switch to the reflecting pool. He wouldn't shut up about it. Remember all the times he was holding up the picture showing that the reflecting pool, if it was stood up vertically, it'd be taller than the tallest building in the world.
Who cares?
Nobody cares, but he wouldn't shut up about this. And that's why this is such a great metaphor because, like, it was a problem that he identified that either wasn't really a problem or maybe it was a little bit of a problem, but it wasn't a priority. Like, this wasn't anything that America was talking about. People
No.
weren't crying for the past decade wanting a cleaner reflecting pool. Like, what are we doing? So, and then, sorry, after he identifies a problem that nobody really cared about, instead of listening to experts, instead of going to the experts and saying, "Hey, what do we do here?" He goes with his gut. Here's what my gut says we should do. Let's do this. When that doesn't work, he then blames others. Like that is the recipe for everything Trump does. Identify a problem that's not really a problem.
Yeah.
You should follow your gut and do something that nobody would recommend you do to fix it, and then blame others. This is what happened with the reflecting pool. Look at Iran. Look at anything else he's done. That's where we're
Yeah.
at.
Use taxpayer dollars um to do a no bid contract with his pool guy so that he also gets free pool cleanings for the rest of his life. So he's ripping off the American public for his own benefit. And have you seen a picture of the guy who did
I
it?
I
He
have
looks
one
like a
right.
mob boss.
I have one right here for you.
Yeah, he looks like a mob boss.
He
It's
he looks like
crazy.
a cartoon, like in an old Batman, like an old comic booky type Batman. That
Yeah,
looks like,
the penguin almost.
yeah, it's kind of hysterical. Also, he lives close to Mar-a-Lago. He's a businessman, and he got in trouble in I think the early 2000s for bribing politicians. Just so you know a little bit about that guy. So
Mm.
yeah,
And he's a Trump supporter and a Trump donor.
yep. So
Um, yeah. And now,
well,
and now he's blaming he's arresting people.
time out. I got that all coming up. You need to calm down, sir. I'm going to walk you through this. So
Uh,
real quick, they were in a big hurry for the reflecting pool to get finished before the UFC fight. They rushed it and it was also no contract or what is it called? No, what do you call it? no compete bid. Where there's a word for
No
that.
bid contracts.
Yeah, no bid
No
contract.
bid
Thank you.
contract.
Yeah. So it was a no bid contract given to his buddy with a rush. We need this done in a couple days for the UFC fight. Also, I don't know if you remember, but when they were finishing lining the pool, Trump drove his motorcade onto the pool to inspect it. Okay. Probably not the best thing to do. There's pictures of, have you seen those?
No, I haven't seen that at all. Okay, so he drove his motorcade onto the reflecting pool.
Yeah, and
I
those
mean,
aren't just standard Chevy Tahoes or Suburbans. Those are like decked out, armor plated, heavy ass Suburbans that he drove onto the new surface of the pool. So if something messed up the surface, maybe it was that. I don't know. Anyhow, so
no.
after they get the pool refilled, they have the new American flag blue bottom. They refill the pool. Within a couple days, the algae is back, and the pool is just green, and there's algae floating everywhere. Did you see the pictures of all that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I saw tons of pictures and there's pieces of it floating of the bottom of the pool floating to the
Well,
top. It's
the
it's a mess.
the bottom of the pool wasn't floating to the top until they started trying to treat the algae. Did you see what they were pouring into the pool to treat the algae?
It's like hydrogen peroxide or
It was hydrogen.
something.
Yeah, and so there are pictures of people just pouring gallon after gallon of some chemical into the pool, and a photographer actually got a close up to see what it was. No crap, hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah.
12%
Yeah, and
hydrogen
apparently
peroxide.
so there was one algae there was one algae growing in there and then they added the hydrogen peroxide and that killed off the other algae but made room for this new algae to grow. So
What?
and this is the park services, which I would imagine they kind of know what they're doing, but like, wouldn't this been foreseen? Like, it's a shallow pool of water in the middle of a hot ass city in the middle of the summer. Like, it's gonna have some issues if you
What?
don't like chlorine should have been. I don't understand this.
So, and I didn't know this till this week, but the water for the pool is pumped in from the Potomac River that runs right by it. So it's water from the
Hmm.
Potomac that's pumped into it and then pumped out. So that's it's not chlorinated or anything, and it gets algae every summer. Stagnant water in hot weather grows algae. Like that's kind of there's not a lot you can do about that. So it's not his fault the
Yeah.
algae came back. It's his fault for not checking with experts. And hey, why is there algae here? What can we do? Barack Obama spent and he went to Congress and got the money appropriated as you're supposed to do, but he spent like $30 million to put in some kind of a pump filtration system, and that didn't even work. I would say that's Obama's fault, except Obama didn't make that decision. Obama got a team of smart people together. They came up with a plan. They spent a lot of money on it. It didn't work. The algae still persisted. This is what happens. The bottom started peeling after the hydrogen peroxide went in, which makes sense. Every pool guy, and I never thought I'd say this, but I am watching a lot of YouTube videos of pool guys these days. They're all pointing to there's a couple different things that happened here. One of them being hydrogen peroxide. You put a bunch of chemicals in the pool. That the stuff they put on the bottom, which we're going to talk about in a minute, is stuck on by an adhesive. Hydrogen peroxide is something that removes adhesive. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Little ridiculous. So all that being said, I still wouldn't have given Trump a hard time. He tried something out, it didn't work. He poured chemicals in it. It's peeling up. I would have been willing to not talk about this on the show. Like I would have given a hard time off the show, but we wouldn't dedicate our time to this. He took it to the next level because instead of admitting that it's the plan's not working, they should have done something different. Instead, now he's got a new line where the reason the bottom is peeling up is because of vandalism. There's all these Democrat vandals that are sneaking into the park with box cutters and knives and destroying the bottom. That's a national monument. You go to prison for that, buddy.
Uh,
I think he said they've arrested 6 people so far. One of them being an Olympian. He's an Olympic canoer, which I don't consider to be a real Olympian. But either way, he represented America. So, and according to that guy, I don't know what all 6 of them have been arrested for, but one of the 6, the Olympian, he said he bent down. There was a piece of the bottom that had floated up to the top. He bent down and grabbed the corner of it for a picture, like he was holding the corner of the blue stuff. Didn't pull it up, didn't try to hurt it, just touched it. Basically, that's enough to get you in prison. So, and also
mhm.
the prosecutor for that area is Janine Pirro from Fox News. So she's the one leading this vendetta. Fantastic.
I
Um,
saw a woman get arrested because she was taking a sample of the water, and
yeah. So
they had like 10 or 10 police officers surrounding her. Like, this is our tax money going to work, right?
Well, someone got detained yesterday because they bent down and touched the water. They didn't even take a sample. Now, they only got detained, and I believe they got let go. But there's no signs to say you can't touch the water. I would assume people don't know you can't, but whatever. Anyhow, here's I got to run through this because this is just comical to me. But here's Trump in the Oval Office the other day.
And police have been all over the mall. How would these vandals have gotten so close to do something like that?
Do you have any proof of
I
this?
mean, we didn't have a lot of them then. Who would think that somebody would go into a pool and take a knife and start cutting it?
Do you have proof of that?
Yeah,
was
yeah,
denied?
we have
You have
proof.
photos or videos?
Well, let's put it this way. When you have a 350, I think it's 350, not 250, a 350-foot slit from one end to the other, you think that's proof? You think that's
The
proof?
reporters have been down there today looking for that slit that you mentioned, and there's no evidence of
all
it.
you'd have to do is see the Parks Department. They'll show it to you. Or see the secretary. But I saw it. They cut it. They cut it very violently. The same thing with the floor. They cut it. And then they lifted it. They pulled it. And that's what it is.
So, and Trump said there that there's proof because they said, is there proof of this? And he said, oh, yeah, there's proof. Later, he said that, oh, yeah, we have the proof. We'll be releasing it shortly. That the Parks Department will be releasing it shortly.
2 weeks.
Let's say, I'm guessing he means there's pictures or video because there's surveillance cameras there. So, okay.
Yeah.
If there were pictures or video of this happening, Fox News would be showing it on a loop. It's all we'd be seeing all day long. The fact that nobody's seen this yet leads me to believe there is no evidence of that. Also, the reporter said it there, but like Trump's talking about a 250 to 350 foot slit going down the middle. Nobody's seen that. The pieces that are floating the top have a real jagged edge, not like somebody cut it with a box cutter or a knife, like it just ripped up on its own. Okay, cool. So that's point one there. Also, though, where would they have gotten the idea to try to cut it with a knife? Who would even think to try to do that? You might ask. I have an idea of where they might have thought about this.
Mm.
This will last for at least 50 years, and you'll never have a leak. It's very strong. You couldn't, if you had a knife, I don't want to give anybody ideas. If you had a knife, you can't even cut it. So strong, so powerful. It's like powerful rubber. It is beautiful, sealed. And I looked at just one of the little pieces that they did to finish. It's like a piece of glass. Beautiful color, beautiful everything. You could never get anything like that.
How much did he pay for this? How much were we paying for this?
16 million is what it ended up being.
Okay.
So anyhow, Trump said less than a month ago that you can't even cut it with a knife. And now he's saying somebody got in the pool, went down to the bottom with a knife or a box cutter and cut a 350-foot long slit. I think you would need scuba gear to accomplish that. Wouldn't that have been noticeable? I'm just going to throw out there.
It would have been noticeable if there was somebody in there with scuba gear. And there would definitely be a video. Like you said, there's surveillance everywhere.
There is surveillance everywhere around there. So, all right, moving on. Reporters did go to the parks. Because in that first video, Trump said, go to the Parks Department and they'll show you the evidence. Well, guess what? All the reporters went to the Parks Department. The Parks Department said, we have no clue what you're talking about. What evidence? We don't know what we're supposed to be showing you. So they went back to Trump the following day. This was a video from yesterday where they get to ask Trump about this evidence.
Mr. President of Reflecting Pool, you mentioned yesterday that the Interior Department has video and photos. We reached out to them and they haven't shared it with us. Are you going to compel them to release
They've
it?
arrested, I think, 6 people on the reflecting pool. So the reflecting pool looks fantastic. I just got pictures of it. It's beautiful. But somebody went in with a knife and cut it. They cut it up good. And then they cut a 350-foot slip in the form of lots of little slips, real horrible stuff. And they destroyed the grass. We put a brand new big load of grass out there. They destroyed it. So it's all being fixed. But it's a shame. So I understand 5 or 6 people are arrested. The Interior Department can refer to you on that. And I hear they have 6 people under investigation.
They destroyed the grass too?
So that is, he's true about one of these things. Somebody used something to kill grass, and it's huge, but they made it say 8647, like just beside the reflecting pool in the grass. They killed the grass in that formation. So anyhow, I thought, yeah, so that he's right there. But one of the 6 people that's under investigation apparently is Jonathan Karl from ABC. He did a video shoot out there a couple days ago where on the live video he bent down and touched the part of the blue that was sticking up, and he's been alerted that he's being investigated by Janine Pirro for this. So
For touching the water.
Yeah, touching the blue. He touched the bottom. He didn't pull it up. He didn't do anything like that. But anyhow, so the only other really funny part about this is what they put on the bottom of this. I assumed it was some kind of aquatic sealant, something meant for the bottom of pools.
Sure.
Oh, how wrong I was. Last video I'm going to show you. I got one more after this, but check this out real quick.
Personally, with my very limited knowledge of this, didn't think that it made a lot of sense to put that bottom on the bottom. But even I did not predict that it would be like peeling off in a matter of days, which really does seem a fairly catastrophic outcome. Like, what do you know about what exactly they did there?
Great question. I didn't expect this either. And what I can say is that federal contracting records and internal Park Service documents show that this material that they spread on the bottom of the reflecting pool to waterproof the bottom is called Rhino Pipeliner 5000. It is a polyurethane coating that is typically used in truck bed liners and in pipes, including water pipes and sewage pipes. And it is not typically used in swimming pools or in large basins like the reflecting pool.
Wow.
Rhino liner, dude. Back. I don't know if anybody still does it, but back when we were younger, you get a new truck. If you went and got a spray in Rhino liner bed liner, that was big time. Like that was a status move right there.
Yeah.
But they're using bed liner on the bottom of the reflecting pool. Like now, according to pool guys, that could have worked. But when you do that, it has to do with the adhesive has to go on, and then the first coat has to go on, then there's another coat, and it all takes time. You have to let it cure, and you have to let it cure for days to a week. So every pool guy I've talked to said that like what they did could have worked had they given it the time, but they were in such a hurry. Trump was demanding it be ready for the UFC fights, so they didn't let it cure properly, and they refilled it, and now it's peeling off. Apparently, according to almost every pool guy I've seen, like this makes total sense. This should be expected if you do what they did. Anyhow.
You think his pool guy told him that and he just ignored him? He was like, yeah, whatever. Let's fill it up. We got to have it ready.
I wouldn't be shocked if somebody at some point went to him and said, well, sir, the pool guys are saying that it's going to take 3 weeks because we have to, let it dry, whatever. And Trump probably said, no, fill it up right away. And then nobody pushed back on that. Everybody said, okay, Trump said to fill it up. We're going to fill it up. I'll bet. That's what my hunch is.
I'm a little worried about this Trump Day arch now. Like, what if it collapses? Like, if he just keeps cutting corners like this, that thing. Yeah.
He also, how after his where he almost got shot in Butler, Pennsylvania, how he did the fist pump. He apparently was asking people if they could put a giant fist on top of the Arc Day Trump, whatever they're calling it now, because he thought that would have been perfect for him. And apparently they convinced him not to do that, but he wanted a giant fist. Anyhow.
Of course he was a giant fist.
Last video I got on this, of course, Trump is blaming the vandals, but that's not the only person at fault here, okay?
Oh.
Who do you think he's pushing blame off to?
JD Vance.
No. It's a Democrat.
Nancy Pelosi.
Nope. Okay, watch this video real quick.
Part of what's curious about this situation is we stood here with you in April when you first revealed the plans.
I said what?
In April, you showed us pictures of what you were going to do at the pool, and you said you had a guy who was going to do it in a week for about $1 million.
Well,
It's been 2 months for $16.5 million.
Yeah, okay, ready? Barack Hussein Obama, have you ever heard of him?
Yeah.
Barack Hussein, have you ever heard of him?
Now, he went on to say Barack Hussein Obama spent twice as much. He spent $30 million on a filtration system, blah, 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 and that didn't work. So that was his excuse there. But again, if Barack Hussein Obama said, no, don't get the experts. I know what to do. Let's do this. And then it didn't work. Then I would get mad at Obama. That's not what happened. Obama had a team from the Parks Department meet with experts and come up with what to do. And then they went to Congress and presented it and got Congress to allocate $30 million to try this plan. And then it didn't work. Okay. I'm sorry it didn't work. Very different situation.
Longer now than before?
So they said that the levels, like 3 or 4 days ago, the algae levels were the highest ever on record. Part of that has to do with the reason you don't make the bottom of a pool a dark color like dark blue is because that makes the pool hotter. Hot water increases the algae level. Now, I did see, and I didn't pull up, but I saw I think TMZ was out at the reflecting pool this morning, and it's actually blue again right now. They scrubbed it off the bottom. They vacuumed it, whatever they had to do. But Trump said the other day that now they have to drain it again to fix the sealant at the bottom and then refill it. The America birthday party is coming up in like a couple days. So either the pool's going to be shut down for that, or he's going to tell them to rush it again, in which case it's just going to start peeling again. Also, one life was lost in all this kerfuffle. A baby duck there's plenty of pictures of
I
it,
did see
but
that.
the baby duck was floating in the pool, probably because it's swimming in a pool full of hydrogen peroxide. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I don't know for sure, but I would think that makes sense. So,
and baby ducks probably die on occasion.
yeah, especially when they swim in hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah, it's probably not. Yeah.
Anyhow, that's all I got. But yeah, the reflecting pool. We had to get it out of the way because it's being talked about. But it's a perfect example of Trump screwing things up on his own and then blaming everybody else. Like that's
Yeah, he wants to fix the swamp, but he brings more swamp to the swamp. That's pretty much what he does.
That's the best analogy there. He came to DC and said he was going to drain the swamp, but it got swampier. Same with the reflecting pool.
Yeah, it's actually just a combination of everything Trump has done, all mixed into one. Lying, promising the best and then delivering the worst. Corruption by feeding his pool guy money with a no bid contract and getting something for himself in return through taxpayer dollars.
And after bragging that it's going to be the best result ever, blaming everyone else other than himself when it doesn't.
Blaming everyone else. And then the fascist regime of arresting people who probably didn't do anything wrong, who didn't do anything wrong.
They touched the water.
They touched the water.
Or in the one Olympian case, he did touch the blue that was peeling up. And there's video. He posted it to his Instagram, so you can see exactly what he did. He bent down, the corner of it was sticking up. He held it. He took a picture or a video, and then he let it go. That apparently could get him 10 years in jail for vandalizing a national monument, is what he's getting charged with.
It was already broken. I mean,
yep. Well, according to Trump, he might be the guy. You got to think he's a canoeer, so he's around water. He could be the guy that dove down there with a box cutter and cut a 350.
He probably put his canoe in and just had a knife on a stick and was canoeing one-handed and holding the other hand with
I'm expecting the video footage any day now because Trump said there's proof.
2 weeks, bro. 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. So, all right, that's all I got. Have a fantastic day, and I'll be talking to you soon, man.
All right, brother.
Later.
Sometimes you eat the bar, sometimes the bar eats you.